Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me. And in today's episode, we're going to build a 2-inch thick, 61-inch wide by 87-inch long walnut butcher block countertop for an island in a house in Trinidad. Man, that's a pretty big countertop for a little shop like this, but it can be done because if I can do it, you can do it. The only problems I had basically so far with this thing is the fact that I only have a 15-inch planer. So I have to build this in 4 different sections because it's 61 inches long. The other thing is it's a no sap job, which means I had to make parts that had no sap in them. And if you know walnut, you know it's full of sap and knots and all sorts of stuff. So I put all the sap on the bottom. Shh, don't tell anybody. So the other problem I had is I started milling it up is I only bought 130 board feet. Even though I figured I only needed 100, I bought 30 more just in case. Well, that wasn't enough either because it's walnut. So I had a bunch of scrap laying around and I got out a drawing board and I started drawing stuff out and I figured, oh, I got some scrap here. I'll just make a 2-board glue up, which I did right here. And I used the domino machine to domino these two together. I used some tape, as you can see right here, and some glue, and glued up a 2-board glue up, and I milled out a bunch of those. All right, these will all work. And I added that up and I was still 10 short. So what I had to do was make, out of the rest of the scrap, I made a 3-board glue up. And these are about 30 some odd inches long, dominoed in the center, glued up with tape. And I'll show you how I did all of this on this video right here for you. All right, get some popcorn, sit back and relax, because here goes the craziness. I'll try to make it as short as possible, and I'll see you at the very end. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cross cut the ends off, figure out my lengths, and then I'm going to rip them to size basically. So, all right, so I'm going to set up over here on the chop saw. I'm going to flip you on the other side over there, and I'm just going to film me doing what I'm doing, and we'll see you later. This is the end of day one. It's about 5:45 right now. Everything is squared up, ripped to size, cross-cut, and ready to be planed. The first run through the planer, which will take them all down within a 1/16 of the height and a 1/16 of the width. So right now we have, this is like 57 and 11/16. It needs to be 60 3/4 when I'm done, so I'm going to basically plane off almost 7 inches of material. And that's a lot of chips. So you should always think about where's the sawdust going to go and where's all the extra wood going to go. I give away my wood to whoever wants it. And I also give away all my sawdust on Craigslist. If I can't find anybody to take it on Craigslist, I just take it down to the recycling center that takes green waste, and I do it there. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's day 2 of building this big old walnut butcher block top. So today what we're going to do, I'm going to be planing most of the day. All these pieces have been squared up on one side or the other. They got one face jointed side and the other top side is squared, so they're squared together. And what we're going to do is we're just going to plane everything down till it's roughly like 2 1/16 by 1 5/8. So all the pieces that need to be glued up, these little three board glue ups here and the 2-board glue ups over here, we got to glue up that seam. We're going to do that with the domino machine. I'm gonna have to cut these to size and then glue them together after they dry. We're gonna plane them again, and the final size is gonna be 2 inches tall by about 1 9/16 wide. And if I did my math right, this should come out to be roughly 61 by 87, roughly. So to put them in my 15-inch planer, I have to have 9 board glue ups. So after I get done with planing everything and gluing everything together, I'm gonna glue them up in 9 board glue ups. I'll have 3 left over, which is no big deal. And then I'm going to domino the whole thing together after I cut everything to size and sand it, and then off we go to install it. Just that simple, right? All right, here we go. I'll enjoy the music. See ya. Okay. Sorry for the sound, it's just the camera. So everything is now planed to 2 1/16 by 1 5/8. Now it's time to cut down these little pieces and domino them together. All right, I'm gonna go set up and I'll see you in a bit. All right, so this is the end of day 2. This is our first planing that we went through. We made everything the same height and same width. I have to take off a 16th off the height and a 16th off the width of all of these boards still. Went through 2 bags of sawdust, so 100 gallons of sawdust. Everything's cross-cut. I forgot to film that part because I was just working. And yeah, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to lunch. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But tomorrow morning, we're going to domino all these parts here, this whole pile from here to here. All has to be dominoed and glued up, and I think I'm going to just tape these and see how that works. I'll do it on a couple of them, and that I'll film. And then we're going to start assembling it. All right, well, you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in 2 seconds. Ready? Here we go. All right, day 3. Today's domino day. We're going to domino all these boards that we have sitting in front of us right here. I have to do this 56 times. We're going to use these guys right here, the domino number 8 by 50. So whatever that is in English, this is 5/16 thick by 7/8 by 1 7/8 inches long. I'm going to use this guy right here, put on the bottom, and we'll lock this into place. I'm using this, but there's a little bit of a problem from the curved cabinets of Bembo. I taped that thing on there, so always pay attention to what you're doing. Because if I would have done that, everything would have had an angle to it, and it would have never worked. All right. I don't know where that went. So I'm going to do a couple of experiments with some leftover pieces I got, and we'll go from there. All right, I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll film all this. We'll time-lapse it and put on some music. All right, well, I'm going to try another one. So we did this, and that seems to be okay. I'm going to flip it around so this is up and down and see how that feels. Because this feels like, I mean, it's... Once you get the top, it's nice and flush on the top, but the sides, it'll kind of move. I think we should try it the other way. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, there it is. The domino machine's amazing. I have a biscuit joiner. I probably won't ever use it again. After doing all those tests, this is the top, these are the sides, that's the bottom. We're going with the domino sideways, which means I have to lay them all this way and domino them this way. Here we go. I'll see you in a bit. So that worked out pretty well. I was just going to go without my microphone on, but I decided not to. So it'll all kind of go in there. It's flat. I'm just going to use this 8-foot level and put it on there, and that looks pretty good. I got a whole bag of these guys. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip them and I'm going to glue one up just to see how it works. That way, I don't want to do them all and have it not work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to glue this one up using tape. So I'm going to set up. I'm going to make a bunch of little rips. I don't know if you ever seen me use this stuff before, but I use it all the time for gluing up all sorts of craziness. And I just want to see if it'll work for this. So that's what we're going to do. And so if that's all together, we're going to go like this. Got to anchor it down first and then pull. So we got that side done. These pieces are, I don't know how long they are, about 10 or 12 inches long maybe. And what I do is I put about 1/3 on one side, maybe a little more, and then I pull and lock it down. All right, so we got that there, and I'm gonna pull this towards me. So this side's anchored, and you pull the stretchy tape, and it pulls it. And it seems like it's working pretty good. One more to do here. And this is the easiest way I know how to clamp something up without having to put like a couple screws in the piece of wood and then trying to clamp it that way. It doesn't work that well. Okay, so that seems to be okay. Then we're gonna move it down and we're gonna do this one. Try to do it the same way every single time. Yeah, hold that down, pull. And what that's doing, it's stretching this tape out. When you lock it down, it kind of pulls it together right in the middle. It's worked for all sorts of kinds of things. But I've never done it like this before for putting dominoes in. It's not like this. And here we go, pull. And here we go. Okay, so if it worked, I should be able to pick this up and turn it. Man, that worked pretty good. All right, well that's cool. Now I'm gonna take my 8-foot level right here. It's pretty flat on the top. A little wiggly, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. Let's see here. And this way is good. Okay, so this is like a 16th tall, and it's also a 16th wider than I need. And by this, the width should be okay. I gotta figure out how to put this down somewhere where it's flat, so it won't glue up on an angle. Okay, so the tape trick seemed to work. Seems like that's pretty good. I'm wiggling it. It moves a little bit, but that's a lot of weight. You know, these things are not light. They're 32 inches long and they're 2 inches thick, 1 5/8 inches wide. I got a jabble in it, but look, it stays pretty good. All right, well, there you go. I'm gonna try the next one, and actually, I'm gonna glue this one up right now. I'm gonna go get some cardboard, put on top of this, and I'm gonna glue this up, and I'll film the whole thing. We'll time lapse it. All right, here we go. Hey everybody, all right, the day's over. It's 2 minutes to 6. It took a little while to do, but it's done now, and tomorrow, sometime mid-morning, I'm gonna be planing these down And well, I'm going to plane all the wood down, and then I'm going to start putting them all together and gluing them up. They went together pretty well. The tape worked really good. I'll film how I glue these all up and then the mayhem behind it. Okay, well, if I can find my magic button, I'd turn you off, but I can't, so we'll see you later. Have an awesome day. I found it. Magic button. All right, I planed everything to the width that it needed to be. And then I squished them all together and clamped them up, all 9 pieces, and it should have got 14 and a 16th, and I have 14 and an 1/8. Ooh, damn it. So what I'm going to do is after I get them glued up, after I've planed them to the height they need to be, which is 2 inches, I'm going to just join off a 32nd off all the boards. That's what I'm going to do. If you ever have that problem, my suggestion would be kill the fly that just flew by and then, hey, that rhymed. And just join it off. Okay, here's the board layout. I don't know if you can see that or not. This is what it's going to look like. So I have the number 1 is just one solid board. And that's the ones, the lucky ones that got ripped out of all the boards and it made work. Number 2 is a 2-board glue up. And then I go to a full solid piece again. And then the 4th one is a 3-board glue up. And then we go solid board, 2-board glue up, which we actually flip over on the other way. Solid board again, and then a 3-board glue up, and we continue that all the way through 39 boards. And somehow that winds up with a solid board on the outside of one and a solid board on the outside of the other. And that's a good thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue everything up, and I'm going to put you over there and just time lapse the whole thing. I forgot to go over this, but it might help, I don't know. I labeled these with the number 3 for the 3-board glue ups. I've labeled these 2 with the 2-board glue ups, and the other ones are just the other ones. I found a really cool one for the outside because it's very curly and dark, so that's going to be awesome. That'll be one outside edge. I found another one for the other outside edge, and that's how I'm going to keep track of everything as I'm gluing it up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take green tape in 2 different places, like this, and I'm going to line them all up. So I got all these where I wanted them. I got a clamp on here like this, and I'm just going to take this guy right here. All right, so I'm going to mark it really good. Hopefully that'll mark. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to do the same over here. Because what I got to do now is I got to glue all these together, and it's going to move all over the place and go crazy. So the more markings on it that I can read, the better. And I know what you're asking right now. You're like, well, how in the hell are you going to leave that green tape on there and glue it up? Well, it's magic.
What?
I'll explain it in a second. So what I got to do now is I'm going to take my favorite tool in the whole entire world, which is this guy right here, my little scriber, and I need some sandpaper. I'm going to sharpen this up really quick. I got some 320 grit, and I'm just going to sharpen this real quick right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slice these off. I'm going to label each one, and I'm going to slice them. So we'll just do this here. All right, those are all marked. Now, hopefully when I take them apart, the tape will kind of come apart. We'll see how it goes. All right, I got them all apart. All right. Well, that's amazing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get my roller, and I'm going to get some glue and a bucket, and I'm going to start gluing this stuff on there. I'll turn you on the time lapse. So here we go. I'm going to start gluing up. All the batteries are good. We're going to go. Okay, enjoy the music. Okay, I'm gonna drag you over here real quick. It's gonna be a bit bumpy. See how that works? So all the lines line up with the lines, and that's the easiest way I know to do it. Now I'm going to flip it back over and we'll go from there. All right, so we got that part done. Everything's lined up as best I can get it. Where are all these flies coming from? My zipper's not down. What? Okay, here we go. Now the hard part. Try to get them all down without flopping them all over the world. I could put a clamp on it and slide it down. That works sometimes, but I'm not that smart. Here we go. Boom. Now we're going to take our square. And we're going to get glue all over it. Good golly. And you can leave the tape on if you want. It'll just plane off anyway, or we'll scrape it off later. Yeah, I mean, they're off just slightly, but it's not really worth monkeying around that much. All right, now we're going to start. Where are we going to start, ladies and gentlemen? If you've ever seen any of my videos when we glue these things up, where do we start? We always start in the middle. Start in the middle and work your way out. All right, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to check, see how flat it is. Make sure it's not all cupped up, which I don't think it is. Yeah, it's flat enough. It's not cupped or anything. Doesn't look that way anyway. And there we go, number 1. Yay! Almost the end of day 4. I think so. Yeah, something like that. All right. See you soon, and I'll see you in probably 2 seconds. Ready, go. Hey everybody, and welcome back to day number 8. And today we're going to be planing the tops of these guys down, well, tops and bottoms, until they're 2 inches thick. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to belt sand the tops, and then I'm going to take my orbital sander and sand the tops. I'm going to take the 3-board glue up that I have over there. It's only got 3 of these boards in it, and I'm going to domino and attach it to one of these guys, the one it belongs to. Before I do all that, I'm going to have to label the sides, what board number they are, 1 through 5 or 4, whatever the hell it is, and what side's up and what side's left and what side's right. So at least when I go to put it back together, hopefully all these little lines that I did up to a picture of the thing over here, all those little lines, hopefully it'll all be lined up and looking good. Once I get it all put together, sanded, dominoed together, I'm going to cut the ends off to size. I'm going to belt sand the sides, end grain basically, and smooth it up. I'm going to round it over, and tomorrow hopefully we'll be installing this guy. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. And as a side note, this weekend I became a grandfather. So the crazy old man is now a grandfather. My number 2 son had a beautiful daughter, and I couldn't be happier. All right, so here we go. Planing I shall go. I'll see you guys at the end of the day, and enjoy the music. Bye. I got all the pieces ready to go, all labeled. I labeled each one what ends up. I've taken the tape off, scraped off all the glue as much as I can get off, and we're ready to rock and roll. So hopefully I don't knock the camera over when I'm doing this, because I got to run around the back side there and grab it. I got myself a little wheelie thing over there, help hold it up as it goes through, and here we go. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to put these together and clamp them together and see if I need to join the inside edges, which I'm sure I have to do. So I'm going to smash them all together and see how wide this damn thing is, and see if I got it right. And if I have to join off a little bit off each one, I will, just to make it work. All right, I'm going to set you back up over here and work over there. Thanks for watching. Okay, we got it all planed to thickness. We're a little under 2 inches. It all looks pretty good. I have all the lines lined up with the lines. All those little 1s and 2 lines. I've got them lined up with this. Checked them with this guy, make sure they're square. Actually put this on there and check the whole thing. And they all line up pretty good. They eyeball well. So that's what I care about the most. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to join each one of these down 1/32 of an inch, because this thing is long by just like a 1/4 inch, I think. I need 60 3/4, and I have 61 1/8. So to crosscut this, I'm going to use my Festool track saw. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it out with green tape so I can actually see it in black pen. And then I'm going to pull corners so I know for sure this thing is square. Because you can't trust little, oh yeah, this is square. No, it's not long enough. And you know, even if I have a bunch of these things, that's not even good enough. So I'm just going to pull corners, tape to tape, and then make sure I'm square. Draw the line, cut it with the track saw, domino all these together and sand them, and then we'll get ready to go install them. Right now I'm going to take all of these and I have to go join them on the joiner. I'm not going to film that because that's just dumb. I'm just going to join each side a 32nd of an inch so we get it down to 16 3/4. Hey everybody, all right, we got it all together. It's all been sanded. And now I'm just checking, double checking my measurement. Should be right around 86 3/4. Yep. It's a little big. It's big by just about a 1/16 or so, which is fine because I have to belt sand the end off and all that. So I'm going to show you a little trick here. Usually you can pull the diagonal corners of something if you want to know if it's square, right? Hopefully you know that. If you don't, I'm sure there's videos on how to explain that better than I could. So I got my lines drawn here and I think they're pretty square, right? So I have to double check it. So what I do is I take a board. Since I can't pull diagonals by myself, and know for sure because the tape will fall off, what I'm doing is I'm using a board and I'm going to put some tape on the end here where it crosses this line and I'm going to mark it. I'm going to do the same on that side. So if you don't have anybody with you, hanging out with you, you know, and you're like, okay, hold this, burn an inch, you know, that used to be the thing. Oh, burn me an inch. And then you know, and you pull corners and you're like, okay, that's square. Well, this is the same damn thing without a person. Oh, that's right on the money. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put this across here like this. Somewhere in here. All right, I'm going to go back over there and make sure that I got it right. So this line, there's a line right here. I'm going to line that up at the very point of this outside point here. Right there. I'm going to pull this to this point, which is pretty much right on the money, and I'm going to put a mark here. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but there's a pointy line right there, and that's where it goes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. I'm over here. I'm going to line this corner up, sort of. I'm sure it's going to move. We'll try to eyeball it, wherever it is, because I can't tell. Sort of there. So that one's on the money. And that one's on the money. So this should be square. So with a pen mark here and a pen mark on this side, I pulled that corner with the same side out. So then like this, and then we're going to do this side like this here. And it should always be the same no matter where you're going here. Somewhere over there, line that up with that. Boom. That's on the money. So now that I know this line is square, I can cut it with my track saw. So that's a simple, quick, easy way. If you have to pull square on something nobody else is around and you got a board long enough to deal with the diagonals, there you go. Another Kevinism, Tippinism for me to you. I have my Festool track saw set up. Listen, that sounds amazing. This thing's pretty good. There's some weird things about it, like these little clamps, like that. So I don't know what the hell you're going to clamp that to, but it's going to be in the way of the saw. Well, what the hell? I'm sure they make another kind of clamp for that. But there's also one track here, and see, I got one down here. So I got that clamped into place. And even reading the directions, it says you can just put this down there. There's a little sticky thing on the bottom, and it won't move. No, thank you. So there's a little plastic thing you have to cut in when you first start using this thing. And I cut the crap out of it over here. Somehow I screwed up something. I don't know. I always break something, but the rest of it is nice and beautiful. And you take your line and you set that little plastic doohickey right here on the line. That's good enough. But I really want to clamp this down, but to get this guy, I have to go way back over here, slide this under here, and like this. Let me see if I can do it. So I got this, right? And I got to go way over here. Go underneath. Try not to kill anything. Make sure I'm all lined up, and then I'm going to clamp that puppy down right there. I guess it's clamped in there. Feels like it is. Okay, there we got that. So this will slide just like that. That's amazing. I hope I have it set right. We'll find out here. It says 2 inches. So that should be good because these are just barely 2 inches. Let's see. Let's see. You got to push a button, make it go down all the way. I guess that's right. All right. Let's see. It's on the line. That looks good. Here we go. The power died because I have 1,000 watts and this 600 watt thing plugged into a breaker. Booger snot. I'm almost there. Hold on. Okay, I disconnected the lights that were hooked up. Hopefully that works. Look at that. That worked pretty good. This thing is like, it's like butter. Man. All right, no checks. No checks. All right. So now I'm going to do the longer one. And I'll film that one too. Wow, that's cool. Look at that. That's very nice. All right, now I gotta go do the other side out there. You've seen how it works, so I'm just gonna go cut those, put them together, and I'm gonna sand it all, round over all the parts and the bottom and all that stuff. I gotta seal the bottom still yet today. I just wanna keep cutting because it's kind of fun. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to belt sand this end grain here. Do the same on both sides, and I'm gonna round over the edges. And get ready to go install. I have to flip this over and put polyurethane on the bottom. All right, almost there. We're getting there. It's getting closer anyway. Here we go. I'm just gonna finish rounding these corners over by hand. Look at that. Getting the shoe shine here. Yeah. I didn't do the shoe shine here too much. Okay, so I'm gonna go do the other side. And after I get all done with that, I'm gonna pull these apart. And I'm gonna put water-based polyurethane on the bottom here. And we'll be installing tomorrow. I don't know if I could take a camera with me, but I'll take something and I'll take a picture of it when it's all put in. Tomorrow I'm gonna go install it and glue them all together. And the following day I'll go and sand it and oil it. Boom, done. All right. Well, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Have an awesome day. We're gonna oil it.
Subscribe now.
Stacy, how you going? Do the damn thing all that time.
Hello. Oh. Hey everybody, I'm back. I don't know. Maybe I should put one in this way and then one on the top. Check it out. There's no sanding. It's just, I can't even tell where the damn seam is. It feels like it's down here, but that's a nick in my joiner knives or planer knives. Good golly. So if I can do this here in this little 400 square foot place, you can do the same thing. You just have to practice and watch the videos.
No! Ah! Oh, boogers.